Hello, I am Keisha Weller. I am a national peer advocate working to reduce sexual violence against people with disabilities. This webinar is part of our training series called Talk About Sexual Violence. Our 3-year project is designed to help medical providers and their patients have meaningful conversations about sexual abuse. It also encourages shared decision making when looking for the right healing services. The high rate of sexual abuse among people with intellectual and developmental disabilities is alarming. The U.S. Bureau of Justice statistics say that people with intellectual disabilities are sexually assaulted 7 times more than those without disabilities. Medical providers have a unique opportunity to address sexual abuse with patients, but often don't have the background or access to resources. For medical providers to have meaningful conversations with their patients, each patient needs to understand the language. Without it, they can't participate in decisions or have any control over what happens. Using plain language makes talking together and handouts that are provided to patients easier to understand and use. For me, it means I can understand my choices and be part of the decision-making process, especially when sensitive problems are being talked about. When medical providers use plain language, it helps me understand and learn what is happening and what my choices are. This is also important when providers give handouts to patients and their support people. What do we mean by plain language? It is clear, useful language that is understandable to most people, including individuals with low reading ability. Plain language is an important tool used to support health and informed decision-making in all areas of life. Why is plain language important? Reading levels and understanding written information about being healthy are low in the general population, and especially low among people with cognitive, intellectual, and/or developmental disabilities. Everyone can use plain language. Only 12% of adults fully understand information they need to know to be healthy, according to the National Assessment of Adult Literacy. Knowing this, everyone can benefit from easy to understand plain language. Using plain language gives people, including those with cognitive, intellectual, and developmental disabilities, access to usable information. Here are some plain language basics. Putting important details first. Using an active voice. Using everyday familiar language. Staying away from acronyms and jargon. Plain language ensures that information is meaningful to the patient and not oversimplified or heavily edited. Trimmed text may be easier to read, but if it removes important context, that is not access, and that's not plain language. Here are some tips. Use short sentences. Use icons or graphics to assist with written messages. Focus on important points, what a patient needs to know. Use culturally appropriate language. Repeat important words or phrases. Ask your patient to tell you what they understood. You say, which is called a teach back. There are many benefits to using plain language. An important benefit for me is when I understand what is being said by a medical provider. I am an active participant in my own healthcare. Otherwise, I feel excluded. It's as if I'm not even in the room and excluded. Some final thoughts. As a person with a disability and a survivor of multiple sexual assaults, I know it's very important for all medical providers to use plain language with their patients. At my medical appointment after the assault, they didn't use plain language. I didn't understand what my provider was telling me. I didn't understand because I was really hurting inside. I was frozen and confused, not able to do anything except agree with what was told to me. And I didn't remember anything that was talked about. I know we can do better. Here are some few resources to help learn more about, to talk about making materials in plain language. For more information about Sexual Violence Project, please visit our website at talkaboutsexualviolence.org. Our project is sponsored by the ARC's National Center for Criminal Justice and Disabilities and the Board Resource Center. Our project is funded by the West Foundation. Thank you.